America's sudden hysteria with anti-Russian news on the backside of the DNC hack and revelations coming out post-election has borne some strange fruit. One of the victims looks like a man named Beghjet Pacolli, a former president of Kosovo who happens to be one of the wealthiest businessmen in the Balkans, who's built a sizable construction empire with a company named Mabetex in Switzerland. Now, Pacolli is a former president of the Republic of Kosovo, uh, the breakaway former Serbian region that is now Europe's newest country and is one of the brighter spots in terms of democracy in that particular neighborhood of the world. It seems that Pacolli has made some money over the years with construction contracts in Russia and Kazakhstan, among other places. And Pacolli is now the target of a article which is probably best described as a smear attempt, and the timing is interesting. This was a sudden mid-September story about how one of his business deals back in the 90s, the initial fall of the Soviet Union, netted him some money. Goes on to link Pacolli to Tito and a number of other folks. So it looks like in the American media there's an attempt to smear folks with allegations that have been investigated but never brought to charge, in even these sort of odd international tribunals that have creeped up in the Balkans. But if you have any connection with Russia, it looks like you're suddenly a target, even though this is a guy, he's a former president of Kosovo, and is basically one of the success stories in the Balkans. One of the things that's interesting about this reporting here in Bloomberg is that there's this tendency in the American press to demonize what are conventional business practices abroad, while turning a blind eye to corruption here at home. In a city like Denver, which is not normally known as a hotbed of corruption, the fact of the matter is, to move any large project forward, you need the cooperation of sitting elected officials. In fact, in Denver, if you're not a campaign contributor to Michael Hancock or have found your way into good graces with some of his consulting team, you're going to struggle getting city support, city help for big projects. So while that's business as usual here, when you do similar work abroad and you need to get into the good graces of somebody, you can fall afoul of some of the more moralistic folks in the media. Although in this case, one has to wonder about the origin of the story and the timing of it. If anybody with any kind of connection to Russia, past, previous, or future, you may find yourself on the end of a nasty story in which the reporting is hardly balanced.